Hello and welcome to Week in Geek for June 14th, 2020. This is our weekly recap of news, so let's get started. Koji Igarashi had recently released a 2-minute video thanking his supporters for getting them to reach their goal, and that would be selling 1 million copies of Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. In his video, he also mentioned that there is a lot of content that hasn't been delivered, but thanks to the success of the initially crowdfunded game, they should be able to continue development without having to worry about the budget. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night released about a year ago and was in development for a number of years. He spent so much time trying to deliver on the promises he made to his fans, which is to release a great game. He even went so far as to give his game a graphic overhaul when its initial trailer was received poorly by the public. So seeing Igarashi work so hard, invest so much into making a good game, and being rewarded for making good on his promises is a pretty wholesome thing to see. The cherry on top being that he is releasing a bunch of free DLC for those who supported him and bought the game. Congratulations to Igarashi, Artplay, and 505 Games. Square Enix appears to be striking while the proverbial iron is hot. Despite having a successful set of games released in Japan and beyond, they seem to be already working on a new action title. While we have no details on what the game will be like, we have a good idea of who they'll be taking in to make it. It certainly looks like they're ready to mix a bunch of fast-paced action and their traditionally tactical and turn-based mechanics like how they did in FF7 Remake. The man they've called in for help is Ryota Suzuki, who is most prominently known to be one of the lead game designers for Dragon's Dogma and its expansion, Dark Arisen. He also played a role as a designer for Devil May Cry 5. We'll have to wait a bit longer to find out what exactly they're working on, but we know that they've taken in Suzuki as a battle director, so we have an interesting mix of exciting combat and beautiful aesthetics brewing for what looks like a 2021 release on the PlayStation 5. We'll be keeping an eye out if Square Enix tries to play with devil triggers or combating giant dragons, though new info may take a while. Destiny 2 seemed to be locked in some sort of shadow keep, mired in questionable monetization schemes and unpopular developer decisions. That is until Bungie had enough and took the reins on how the game will be managed and developed from that point on. Not long after that, the MMO had a new light shone upon it and brought its fanbase back, which made it rise in popularity once again. And now, Bungie seeks to go further than the players could see, to take it beyond the light, so to speak, where they plan to introduce a new element to the game called Stasis, which sources its strength from the void or something completely out of reach from the light where they usually sourced all their Star Guardian powers. The really cool part about their latest stream is that they're fully ready to accommodate people who are thinking about the PlayStation 5, where they guarantee anyone who already owns the game and its expansions will be able to cross over their progress and their content on the upcoming update. A very ideal way to support your customers in the era of digital copies. This new expansion is set to release before this year's light will fall along the third quarter of the year. As if the world didn't love Keanu Reeves enough, Hollywood has reunited him with his co-star from 30 years ago, Alex Winter, to perform their roles yet again. In the trailer, we have the actual Bill and Ted, who only are 30 years older, being nearly forgotten by the world. Having failed to fulfill their destiny, at least so far, they are challenged to finally complete their task and make a song that will unite everyone in the world. They've decided to use their time machine to seek out their other selves who had ideally finished the song that would actually accomplish their goal from the very beginning, where they find their expectations being far from reality. Okay, first off, this is really interesting for me because they're not rebooting an old franchise, they're continuing it. They even went along with getting the original characters to take their roles, where it looks like they haven't missed a beat once they got together. That's pretty impressive. They'll be taking on new things as well that come with their age, being middle-aged for one, and being dads. The foundations for this movie is actually very interesting and we look forward to seeing more. Bill and Ted will be rocking you off your seats sometime this summer 2020. Gamer enthusiasts have been guessing what the PS5 will have in store for us for a couple of years now, and thanks to a recent stream by PlayStation, we have a pretty good idea. First we saw the controller, then we saw the console specs, and now we have the games. The first gameplay trailer we saw was of Ratchet & Clank, which seems to be already showcasing just what the PS5 is capable of, being able to instantly teleport between spaces and even worlds without even the slightest bit of load time. Gran Turismo 7 returns to show you just how real a driving simulation can look. Rockstar continues to milk GTA 5 dry by announcing a PS5 port. Spider-Man will be on the new console with content involving Miles Morales. Hitman sneaks its way into the announcements, Sackboy is also arriving with a new platformer game in tow, and next, a new chapter or perhaps even an entirely new game of Horizon Zero Dawn is making its way. Resident Evil 8 or Resident Evil Village is also in the works. Oddworld rises from the ashes and will be freeing slaves once again. What surprised me most of all though is the announcements of the Demon's Souls remake. There's even a slew of new original titles announced for the anticipated console: Godfall, Solar Ash, Deathloop, Destruction All-Stars, Pragmata, Ghostwire Tokyo, and more. Oh, and NBA 2011, and clearly I'm not a fan, but I know a lot of you are. It's a very sweaty game. Anyway, the last thing they revealed was the PS5 itself, having a digital-only and disc drive version available, which didn't take long for people to make fun of. What we don't know right now is its price. Many people speculate that it can be from $500 to $700 US, but we will have to wait and see. What I do know is that I may need a new router, sometime maybe holiday 2020, which has nothing to do with a certain release date. And with that, you're all caught up. Thank you for spending your time with us. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And if you did, maybe you can subscribe, maybe you can follow us on Facebook, maybe on Twitter or Instagram. We do have updates there, sometimes streams, and all of our other content will be found on our very own site, RayMaruFiles.com. We'll see you there, or we'll see you again.